But I did hear Simon say that I'd be stabbing the keyboard furiously with anger. I wasn't. But I did hear Simon say that I wasn't stabbing the keyboard furiously with anger.
Hold on.
I wasn't.
I've got...
But I did hear Simon say that.
Right, here we go. Does somebody want to go and watch it on YouTube and see if they can hear us? Mick, do you fancy trying that?
Yep, I'm on it.
Yeah, just tell us if you can hear us on YouTube, because I've had to mute it on Restream. So as long as you can hear us on YouTube, because I don't want another scenario where we get another recording and nobody can hear me. Because it's definitely streaming.
Have we sent this out to everyone?
Well, it's streaming live on YouTube right now, providing the volume's there.
Yeah, it's popped up on Facebook as well.
Yeah, can you see if you can hear it on Facebook as well, Andy? Sorry to everybody who's listening to the technical difficulties, but I want to make sure it's right this time.
It seems to be working fine, Simon.
Okay, cool. Right, so we'll...
It's a slight delay, but yeah.
Yeah, it will be. We'll crack on. As I've said in most of these other AMAs, I've got no interest whatsoever in wasting anybody's time, let alone ours. So we've got some updates for this week. This session will be a weekly session, and it's going to be just to catch up on where we're at, what's happening, any particular questions anybody doesn't feel have been answered. I will get frustrated if people ask questions that they should know the answer to, and by that I mean there's a lot of information in the Discord already. We are pinning articles and information. Lots of people are doing a lot of work. So, you know, apologies if people come to this session and then they ask a question that's already answered. I will refer people to the information that's already available in Discord. And if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, please do join us on Discord. The link is discord.gg/JC, because that's where you're going to find most of the information about the project. So where we're at to this week, we've lined up a load of shows that will be going out in 2 weeks' time. The reason that they're going in 2 weeks is because Oculus require 14 days notice to advertise a show. We would rather have the next bunch of shows all advertised. So there's 3 new ones that are coming through Nifty Comedians. They're all great guys, really funny, and they'll be streaming into our clubs. As most of you know, we've got 7 clubs now, so we're now looking to see if we can get into some of the other metaverses. We'll fill the ones up in the Infiniverse, and then we'll look to get more property there as well. We did get a property at the end of last week in the UK district. That district, it has sprung up quite quickly on the edge of the Infiniverse, really basically because people said, I want to find somewhere with cheap property, and a load of guys from the UK went and bought there, and they've encouraged everybody else from the UK to come to that particular spot in the Infiniverse. So that district has sprung up. We bought the club at the bottom of the tower which says Manchester on it. The address is 1 Manchester Vale. We're working with, I think we got Salty Dave wasn't here a minute ago. He's gone off, but he's going to work with us to develop that community and that club. He's really active. He's in there pretty much 24/7 it seems like, but that's going to be a good relationship that we've built up now. So the Nifty shows are lined up. We've got another Afro Star show that's been lined up, and we are going to then enable the ability for some of these shows to go proper live, so to speak. I know some people have said, you know, it's not necessarily live. We are in the process of testing, and we can go live. We want to see how the reaction goes down in the clubs, and we also then want to see how some of these comedians want to come into the club during their own set, which they can't do if it's live. So one of the benefits to the comedians is if one of their sets is put out as a pre-record but as live, they can stand in the club and see how the audience react to their material. The next bunch of Nifty shows, they will be on that basis, and then afterwards the comedians themselves are hopefully, fingers crossed, going to then be able to come into the club live and speak to the audience. So that'll be another new experience for everybody to take part in, so that'll be really cool. The next Afro Star event is going to be on the 22nd, so that's getting lined up with their community. One thing I do need to reiterate, and this is going to be a theme going forwards, is I'm getting frustrated with people saying, when marketing, why aren't you doing enough of this? Why aren't you doing this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do more Twitter, more Insta, right? Andy and I, as the leaders of this project, were pretty burnt out by the end of the mint. And when I say burnt out, we were working 18-hour days to get that done. And we'd already been running the token for 6 months, so pretty much we needed a week off. And we didn't take all of that time off, it just went a little bit quiet. But when people start then fudding because, well, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, it's not good enough. And I'll say it openly, if somebody's bought one Jungle Cat and they think that they're the CEO of this project and they want to moan, well, please DM me and you'll understand how much work goes into this project. Rather than, if you want to help, please help. And there's a lot of people in the project, like the mods and admins, and many of the community that have joined are putting a lot of effort in.
Can I also add, Simon, as well, that we're not a normal crypto project, we're not a normal NFT project. I've said this before, we're a proper business developing into what is a very good brand. And the marketing, whilst, yes, it needs to happen on Discord, it needs to happen on Twitter, there are other ways of marketing available to us. And a lot of the things that go on behind the scenes in terms of raising awareness, building collaborations and partnerships, talking to comedians. There's a lot of people on this team, Crypto Jedi's here. He does an amazing job talking to his people. There's a lot more goes on than just a Twitter. And to be honest, a lot of the time, most of what's put on Twitter by a lot of the projects is regurgitated shit, quite frankly. So I would rather put things on when it's relevant, pertinent, and good. So, for example, yesterday, I had a call from my car with a leading UK comedian. We had a very good chat. He's very interested, massive potential. That meeting's now just been booked in with me and Simon next week to seal that deal. We've secured the shows this week, 4 of them that will be happening. So we will tell people when it's relevant to tell people, because I don't want to tell people something that is a waste of time, because it's not worth it. It's like communicating grey garbage. So we will update and communicate when we have good things to say, not when there's nothing to say.
And we don't want... This is not a project about bringing pump and dumpers in. We don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to throw at the marketing. And some people might get upset by that, but, I'm not throwing $100,000 at just bringing more people into the project so that, those people that bought a handful of cats can make a load of ETH off the back of it. Those gains will come and be more sustainable as we grow the project organically, and that's a fact. Yes, if people want to just go, crazy, the fact that, yes, we can pump and dump and bring a load of hype costs a fortune, right? And it's not something we're in a position to do. We're not going to do. And we want people in the project who genuinely believe in it and want to get involved. And that is what will grow the community, and that is what will make us a success, not by bringing people in that are just here to flip NFTs, or just to flip the token price. So we're not doing that. Please, and I will ask people the question, right? And I have directly asked several people when they've moaned, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And when I've then said, well, what have you done for the project? No, tumbleweed at that point. So if you want to come to me and say, when are you doing this? When are you doing that? And what's happening? Please say, because I've posted this, I've done that. Or here's a suggestion and I want to help with it. So come with a solution, not a problem. And look, that's going to be a theme going forwards, because I'm not even going to engage with those people who say, when why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Unless they're actually getting involved. I'll listen, and I am listening actively to the mods and admins. We had a meeting yesterday discussing the website. The website development is happening already, and probably will be done by Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So the new website will be up. The new shiny website that we can market and put our face on and put in front of more people to bring more people into the project. Part of why we haven't had a massive marketing push over the last week is because the joke.community website is frankly shoddy and needs to be replaced before we push the marketing button and really get going. So part of the reason for being slow over the last week is Andy and I have had a rest, and two, the website needs to look, it needs to be credible and done properly before we really push the button on the next stage of the project and the marketing. I fully appreciate everybody in crypto thinks a day is a week and a week is a month and a month is a year, right? So if we don't do anything for a day, everyone's like, oh, it's gone, the project's dead. No, sorry, it's not. We are here. We're pretty much here every day. We do require a little bit of time with our families, as everybody does. So please respect that. And I think we'll leave it at that. And if everybody, if anybody ever wants to refer people, they can send them back to this section of the video and it say, well, please, when you approach Simon, bear in mind, we do have lives to lead. We do have other businesses to run as well. And we are going to grow this community, but we're going to do it in the right way. Okay, so all of the social media will be taken off again this week. We've got a plan in place for that, mainly around the new website. And I've been speaking to the guys at NightSwap about 45 minutes ago, actually, for the staking features. That's being worked on. I know people are very keen to get the staking going. It will be done right. You will all be rewarded. It just isn't going to be within the next week or two, because we have to do the code, we have to get the devs to work on it, and we have to make sure it's right for everybody. Because if it was simply a case of plug your wallet into this site and you will get joke token, that is no good for the project, right? There will be requirements of holding certain amounts of token, holding the NFT. I'm not going to say that anything more than that until I've worked out all of the rest of the details. So I would be guessing myself if I worked that out or tried to tell you now. So I don't know the full details of the staking until the dev brings everything forward onto the table and we set the rules for it. But we will keep you in the loop as a community.
I think it's also worth adding, Simon, today we have had a lot of meetings. We've had meetings with Future Tech Labs. We have talked about the apartments that go with the NFTs. We've talked about the payment gateways. There's more meetings booked in next week to discuss all of that. There's meetings booked next week with them to discuss opportunities around how we do the shows and develop things. So there's a lot of those things are continually moving parts. And it goes back to one of those things about it's no good as trying to just do fluff out there and say, oh, this is kind of happening. We'd rather give you hard news, but be reassured there's been a lot of meetings today. Everything's progressing on all parts of the project in very, very good ways, but some of this stuff does take a little bit of time. But it's actually happening faster than probably most other projects. So as far as we're concerned, we're actually probably more in front in terms of the roadmap, and the roadmap will be updated for the new website. There's going to be some additions and some changes. And we'll just make everything really clear. And I've been working on the website today myself with some of our team. So there's a lot being done over this last few days in terms of the project behind the scenes.
And Crypto Jedi will back us up on this. There's not a lot of projects out there that you can go on to and you can see someone like me sat here talking to you directly with my face showing, right? You can go and find, this is live on YouTube right now and on Facebook. You can go and find our business and check us out on LinkedIn. We are genuinely here. We're KYC'd. We're not here to hide behind the project. We are going to help you. We need everybody's help. That's what, Andy and I can't run this on our own. We've had some incredible help from some of the other mods on the team. 3K, Mark, Antoine, Mick, Dave. If I miss anybody out, there's so many people helping with this project already. We would love other people to get involved, and there are other moderation positions available for people if you're listening and you want to get involved and you're passionate about comedy and you want to help. We'd love to hear from you. So, please do also realise, there's a war going on in the Ukraine, and us in Europe are particularly, we're on the edge of that, and it is taking a lot of attention away from the crypto world at the moment. We've all seen that the way Bitcoin and ETH and that have dipped, and everything else has probably followed. Luckily, we're probably on, touch wood, there's probably going to be quite a big bounce on Bitcoin over the next couple of days, but that's personal opinion, so not financial advice. But we should, depending on what pans out, hopefully come out of the other side of this in a really good position. Claiming your Oculus. So if you are one of the winners of the 5 Oculus that we gave away and your wallet address is pinned in Discord, please open a ticket and claim it, because we're ready to pay them out. The payout on that closes at the end of March. So if you haven't claimed it by then, it's gone, and it will go back into a competition for someone else to win, because I will presume you are not interested. Okay? But if anybody asks a question about how do they claim, you need to, 1, verify your wallet. So I know some people have had issues, but Collabland has now been implemented on our Discord. You can just see it above my head in this video. You need to go into Collabland join, and then it will ask you to verify. It is a standard procedure. So this isn't something that this is something that's done with loads of NFT projects. Collabland is safe to connect your wallet to. It will then verify that you are a holder, and you will gain that status in our Discord. To claim one of the prizes and to claim an apartment, you will need to verify your holding, because there is no other way that I can tie the dev in if you don't. Okay, so please do that. The apartments we are working on, as Andy said, we had a meeting with Future Tech about 2 hours ago, directly with Sam Shepherd himself. He is talking about building bespoke apartments for all of us here. So those apartments will be something that will never ever be available again, and they will be, let's say we end up with 1,650 apartments in the metaverse. Those will be unique forever, for as long as that project survives. So those will be possibly very, very valuable, because if you read, and I encourage you to go and look at, there's a post that I made quoting Chris, the dev from the Infiniverse, and he talks about real world money coming into that system. They wouldn't be talking about that if it wasn't going to happen. And if you look at projects like NFT Worlds, Sandbox, Decentraland, any of these, how much the land is worth and how much people are prepared to pay for it. Like, we are looking as a project at NFT Worlds as a possible destination. The cheapest piece of land that I can find is $32,000 at the moment. Yes, that would give us a base in NFT Worlds, but I think the decision we've made at the moment is we're going to wait for it to launch and see what happens, because there's 10,000 pieces of land available. Clearly, there are a lot of people that have multiple pieces of that land, and they bought it for very, very little, or they actually minted it for free as a giveaway, and they're looking to sell it at 10 ETH. Now, my personal opinion is, once it launches, a lot of the attention goes away from the land that's not being used to the land that is getting used, because there's a lot of projects like the Goat Society, who we know, they've built an entire city on their piece of land for their holders to live in, right? Not to say that they're going to go and use it that much, but those pieces of land that are developed will be worth a lot more than the ones that aren't. And you're going to get to a scenario where people are probably going to be putting land on for sale, i.e. we see the floor price of that project drop, and at that point we'll probably enter. But again, I ain't got a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen. I wish I could, and if somebody's got some insight that I haven't, please do tell me by DM. So we are looking at other metaverses. The one that looks favourite at the moment, and thanks to 3K for vividly describing how amazing it is in there, is Altspace. Now, my only trepidation with Altspace is the fact that obviously it's owned by Microsoft, and will it win? Probably not on that basis, because it's not true Web 3.0, right? It's controlled by a massive corporate that we'd all probably want to get away from, and it is one of the better experiences currently. Although, are you going to sign your house away to a master that you don't want? But that's another debate. In the meantime, we are looking at it, and we probably are going to open a venue up in there based on the fact that you can go directly from the Infiniverse into Altspaces. The only barrier being then is you obviously need a Microsoft account to do that. But we're going to, we'll trial it, see where we get to, let our comedians perform in that space and see what the reception is like. And then otherwise we're looking at NFT Worlds. I've personally discounted Decentraland just for now because I feel the experience is really quite janky. It just doesn't lend itself well, feels a bit too cartoony to me, doesn't flow as easily, but and also is mega expensive. Sandbox would like to be in there. Maybe we get in next to Snoop, but we'll see on that one. But I think the next favourite is probably Altspaces, where we go next. Again, we're not gonna rush. Okay. On top of this, the only other things we really need to talk about, I think, is the fact that if you did max mint within the periods which I stated, and can we just be clear, a max mint is not somebody who bought 3 and then bought 7 from the same wallet. A max mint is 10 in one transaction. Okay, I'm sorry for anybody who doesn't feel that that's fair, but that was clearly stated at the time. We need people to come forward and make those claims. You will need to be verified by using the Collabland plugin, and then you can open a ticket and I will deal with it. Again, no rush. Okay, we will deal with people, and I'm not going to accept it in any other way, because I am getting people DMing me on Telegram, sending me messages on Facebook. I've even had somebody WhatsApp me. I need it all in one place, and that's for my own sanity and the sanity of the project here. We have opened a suggestions channel. If people have got ideas, what I don't want it doing is getting lost in the amount of conversation that goes past, because if you post it in the general channel, it can end up it's disappeared in 5 minutes and nobody sees it ever again, and the person who posted it ends up getting quite frustrated that they wish that their idea had come to fruition. So please post it in the suggestions channel, and we will make a list and we will review it in this meeting once a week, and then we will set the priorities for the following week. So the priority for this following week is the website. So the website will get improved. Second, the improvement of the social channels and a steadier flow of better information and more content. And then we'll see where we get to Tuesday, Wednesday next week. But please do claim if you have a claim to make. In other news, I posted a video today about how you can use DEX tools to monitor the price of the token. I know the guys here are going to run some sessions on how to farm and stake, and there's already loads of people messaging me saying they're incredibly happy with the amount of Night token that they're earning. If you don't know Night, please do a bit of research, because Night is the native token of Night Swap, which is our preferred DEX, and you can buy Joke there as a native token in the drop down rather than having to go to Pancake Swap and enter in a contract address. But the video I posted today shows you how you can monitor your positions, so you can see how and when you entered, what price you bought at, what your profit is, and you can also set up alerts for when certain tokens cross certain thresholds. So not just Joke, in general, if you're looking for some crypto education, that video is quite useful. That's probably it for me for today. Anybody, crypto, you got anything you wanted to add? Or Andy?
Yeah.
You did everything there, Simon, so I'm cool with that. Sorry, crypto.
No, I just want to say, look, guys, I told everybody from the beginning that this project's a long-term project, and you got two founders here on stage with you now that are solid people. Got a chance to meet them in person. And so when you look at projects, you look at NFTs, a lot of people think, well, I get an NFT so I can turn it over real quick for profit. Well, this project is completely different. Not only will your NFT grow in value, not only will you get access to some amazing comedians out there, own property in multiverse, but you also get to stake it to earn more out of it. What NFT actually allows you to create additional streams of income? There's not one out there. So I just want to let everybody know that, be patient with the team. They are working hard. I can see their feet under their desk just moving. Maybe not the keyboard, but I don't think Andy's feet actually touch the ground. He's so short. But listen, anyways, doesn't matter. The whole point is, guys, it's a great project. I'm on board, 100% bought in, and I'm excited to be a part of the team.
So we are going to go actively after a few Twitter accounts as well. So please keep an eye out for if we do say please go and raid. So like people will be raiding will be people like Becca and Elio Trades, etc. But if you do spot some tweets that you think we should jump onto as a community, post it in the chat and we can all go on and jump on, and it will make a big difference as we go forwards. Yeah, look, I'm excited for what's to come. Those new events are rolling out. We're bringing more and more comedians on. It's, I've got a meeting with, am I allowed to say, Andy?
With?
The one we've got lined up with through...
Yeah, we can say, because we have got a meeting with him.
Yeah, so Jay Reed. I don't know if any of you know Jay, but he's got Netflix specials. We've got a meeting with him. There's a couple of others that are very close to signing up with us. Very, very, very big names. All of those people will be providing content to us for free, which is incredible because that shows their belief in the project, on the basis that we're going to give them exposure through Oculus. We're also going to line them up for the paid events. So, as I've said before, I can't give those apartments out or charge for events until such time as that dev is done. So imagine, when we get to the point, it is urgent for us to get to charge because we're on a limited budget. And when people say, how much marketing are you going to do? We would love to do loads of marketing, but it's got to be self-sustainable. It's got to come from the funds that are being generated by the project. That doesn't mean we get to go and spend money that we've generated just to bring pump and dumpers in. We need to show people we're credible, and one of the reasons we've got the really big comedians talking to us is because we are now credible and we are putting shows on in the Infiniverse. As soon as we announce that we're going into other metaverses and people see, wow, these guys are ahead of everybody pretty much, then the real big names will sign up. But what they don't want to do is ever put their name on a project without all of the technical details plus credibility plus audience plus everything in place. And that means Andy and I having several meetings with each person. It's not a case of I can send a message out on Twitter and say, hey, do you fancy performing in the metaverse? to a worldwide comedian. It just isn't going to happen, because the first conversation will be, it's, how much am I getting paid? Now, a lot of these guys, they don't care about money. They care about exposure and their image. Now, if we were to put them on a platform and it fell over, or there were technical difficulties, or we had a load of people in our community causing FUD, that would stop that happening. So one of the things I'm here to ask you today is, please, let's be positive. Andy knows I'm an incredibly positive person, and I hate negativity. That's probably the most ironic statement anybody can make, right? But I really can't stand the fact that if we're going to put stuff out there, let's all be positive. This community is about comedy, about positivity, about making a difference in people's lives. And we had a meeting through Mick. I nearly doxed you there, Mick. Through Mick, who's he's on stage with us now, about working with veterans in the US to put comedy in front of people who really could do with their lives changing. And this project has never been about that. And it would have been very easy for us at the start to go, yeah, we're going to change people's lives, we're going to help mental health, and the reason we're doing it is, to help people's mental state. That is a byproduct of what we're now achieving, and people are coming forward to us actively and saying, we want to get involved, we would love to run events for veterans, and now we're going to make that happen. It will take a few more conversations, and it will be free to them, for veterans to attend. I'd love to make that happen for them, because we're going to get very quickly to the point where we've got tens of thousands of people watching each of these events. So watch this space on that one. But that was a nice development as a side, to what we're actually doing and pushing for over these next few weeks. But the main thing is the next 4 to 6 weeks, let's get the staking rolled out. Let's get the apartments rolled out to each of you through tokens. Let's make sure we grow and get to the point where each of the shows runs seamlessly, and it's at that point that the really big people are going to say, right, I want a part of this. Okay, so please be positive. If we get people being negative, like even somebody posting, why aren't you doing enough Twitter with some pictures of cobwebs? It doesn't help, right? And I mean that, I'll say it with love, right? But it really doesn't help the project, because you don't know who's looking. And if somebody comes into that Discord, a worldwide name, and they come in, or their management comes in and sees something like that, you could have killed that relationship just with that one post. Okay, so it's not me that it is me that gets annoyed, because we could have taken weeks and months to build a relationship to the point at which somebody's going to join us, and one post from one person going, why aren't we doing enough on Twitter, could really scupper that. Okay, and you might not realise that, because most of these people who make these posts, they preface them with, I don't mean to be negative, but, right? Well, when you actually think that, step back, take a breath, and think how it can actually harm the project as a whole if you post something like that. If you've got a question like that, by all means, DM me. I have opened my DMs up now. Through the mint, I had them closed because there can be scams that go through people's DMs, okay? But if you want to know more, attend these weekly meetings, put your hand up, ask questions, but please don't post in the general chat FUD, because it will hurt us if we've got one of those, because we have had the big names coming in there, okay? So as the project grows, there will be more and more communication going on there, and we need you guys fighting our corner and keeping it positive and keeping it an environment where people want to be, okay? That's probably it for today. I don't want to, as I say, in a lot of these AMAs, I've said previously, this has already gone on longer than I wanted it to be fair. I've got 5 minutes at the end if anybody's got a question, if you want to put your hand up. Let's see if anybody wants to talk, seeing as we're streaming. I can't see any hands. Oh, yeah, okay. Jarmy Cat, if we let you onto the stage. Can someone let him on the stage? Because it's not letting me do it. There you go. Hey Hal, did you have something to say?
Hey gang there, I don't know if you can hear me now.
No, go on.
A low mic.
Let me just turn your volume up a sec because you're very quiet. Right, try again now.
Yeah, just a quick question about the apartments and the NFT holders. If they sell their NFTs now, do they relinquish their apartment? Or is there a way that we can, like a small penalty, I guess it would be, for trying to flip these NFTs and if you get where I'm going.
Yeah, I see where you're going. We have a snapshot of the wallets post mint. Those are the wallets that will get the apartments as it stands. I'm not going to make a decision here and now in front of everybody, but I would like to feel that what you've just said is probably fair. But it's also, if somebody did buy a cat and they flipped it, it's probably fair that they would get the apartment based on the initial mint, because that was what is promised as it stands. I will sit here and say, if we start seeing a lot of them getting sold, then we may well change our position, but I don't really want to have to, because we've got a really good community. People are already buying apartments in and around Popsicle, which is where most people have sort of gravitated to, that club. It may be that most of the apartments appear in and around that club, but the conversation with Sand Shepherd today went along the lines of, once the dev's finished working out where he can put the apartments, because they originally reserved us up to 3,000, and those were spread pretty much across all of the locations that we've got. Seeing as we only minted 1,750 max, and there's only about 1,650 that will get apartments, because some were reserved back for future people coming into the project. Like if we get a big comedian, we'd probably like to give them a jungle cat to make them feel part of the project, etc., and some other marketing activities. So seeing as we only need 1,650 apartments, they'll probably be reallocated to an area where we would rather have them. So until the dev can answer that question, which I've been on with today, I don't know the complete answers to the question just yet, but it is conceivable that people could get penalised if they're, for example, selling all of their apartments and leaving the project. Well, we'll probably get a scenario then where they don't want the apartment anyway.
I do.
Hopefully that answers the question.
I don't know if you guys can hear me now.
We can.
Terrific. I put on a headset because for some reason my laptop wasn't. I was talking, but I couldn't hear you guys. Couldn't hear me. I've got two questions. I just want to understand because I came in about 5 minutes late. With regards to the apartments, verification is going to be done how, and secondly, with regards to the current listings that I'm seeing on OpenSea, where would you guys be pitching? Not that I want to sell my NFT, but where would you be pitching for the benefit of the rest of the community? That's what I'm thinking of. Because I've seen figures of 500 ETH, which is a bit over TT, and then I'm seeing things like 4.06, which is way under T. So what would be a reasonable thing to try and boost the whole value of the whole thing? If everyone's putting in at a reasonable value, it would seem sensible to me.
Well, yeah, this is, and again, not financial advice, but patience is the main thing, because obviously we hope that these NFTs will be worth substantially more as time goes on. I'm sure they will be. If people list them at 2 or 3 ETH, I think that in 6 or 8 weeks' time it would be conceivable that once we're running more events and we are on other metaverses, I had somebody say to me that 5 ETH should really be the floor at that point. That's a how long is a piece of string question, unfortunately. If you want for the best of the project, list them at least 2 or 3, I would say for now. To answer the question about the allocation of the apartments, what's going to happen is everybody that holds the right to an apartment will get given a token. That code you can take into the Infiniverse and go and claim your apartment.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's a bit I missed. All right. And would that be something that is posted in Discord, or you'll send it by DM, or what's the process for that?
So as I understand it, it's all going to be through Discord, because we need people to verify their wallet and holding, and the only way we can do that is through Collabland. So we are going to have to make it, unfortunately, that, well, you're lucky enough you're here, you know how to use Discord. Some people will have to go through the pain of learning how to use Discord, because equally we don't want to start having to DM people on Facebook, or sending them out on Telegram, or they'll have to come to the central hub and attach their wallet and verify that they hold, and then they'll get issued, here you go, here's your token to go and claim.
Okay, and that's the holding of the NFT as opposed to joke tokens. At this point in time, I don't actually have joke tokens, but
yeah, you will not have to hold tokens to claim the apartments, no. But we'd like to think that most of the people in the project would like to earn an income from the token as well, and you can do that by staking on NightSwap with the joke token and BNB as a pair. But there's going to be quite a lot of education around that over the coming weeks.
Sure. Okay, thanks guys.
Awesome. And we can hear you much better now you put your headset on.
It was bad news for you guys.
That's fine.
Anybody else want to ask a question while we're here, or we're going to wrap it up, I think, for today, because we do want to keep these at... Oh, G-Dubs is binging me. Okay, I see. Go on.
Sorry, yeah, I won't take up too much time, Simon. I just want to say congrats on the first show, fellas. I enjoyed it and look forward to many more. I've been around all the clubs and buying properties feverishly and looking forward to the development. I was just curious, with all of the clubs in Infiniverse, are they going to be different and have different things going on, or are they all just going to eventually be mirrors of each other and have like the same show playing and the same content in each club?
Yeah, great question. The intention is to have every single club running different events. So, for example, the club in the Manchester Vale, which is the one in the UK district, we've named it the Oasis Lounge. There are people in Manchester talking to us at the moment to say they would love to run the events in that building. It depends on what commercial arrangement we can do with them, because obviously if they're running comedians in Manchester and the UK through that, they're acting as a promoter, so they have got value to us. They're not going to make any money out of it until we are, so there will be a split that happens. It's intended that nifty comedians who we're working with will have their own club. I've been working with the guys at NightSwap and Spartan, and if you don't know Spartan, that's an interesting token to have a look at. I'm invested in Spartan to just, from a transparency, point of view, I am a holder of Spartan and Knight and Guard and many of the other tokens, as are a lot of the guys in here. We are intending to have them have their own club. We had a meeting with the guys, as I said, about the veterans comedy. That may well turn into a hopefully a very regular slot or enough to fill an entire club. Dave Arena, one of the founders of the project, I don't know if Dave's on here, can't see him.
No, he's not here.
So he's not here today, but Dave is speaking with venues in New York about running open mic nights, and there's been concern from some higher level comedians that we are speaking to, like, why are you running, is open mic the right way to go? And we think, yeah, absolutely. Why not give everybody an opportunity to get out there? It's one of the founding principles of this project, to give everybody a chance to get on stage, because we've had people get on stage who said that they would never ever be prepared to stand on a live stage, but they'll do it in VR, and the feedback's been amazing. There's been people going into the clubs and just standing on the stage and performing, which is incredible. So to answer the question, the intention is absolutely to have every single club have its own personality and its own sets, and to make the most of the space. We don't really want to be mirroring for very long at all.
Yeah, that's exciting. I love your last point, and that's something that I definitely find in this platform. I'm very active in Twitter and social media and all over the place, but in the Infiniverse, what I really love about it is, look, I'm an extrovert. I'll seek you out in a crowd, and if you're having fun, I'm gonna have fun with you, right? But a lot of people aren't that way, and they won't get up in front of public and such and speak. And in the Infiniverse, there's this barrier that comes down naturally, and I'm getting people who are approaching me because they hear me having conversations on the street and they're interested in what we're talking about, and they just come up and just kind of listen, and you pull them into the conversation, they feel much more comfortable. So I could see this being such an amazing venue for aspiring comedians who just don't have that level of courage to get up on a real live stage. And this might be the kind of the bridge to some great future comedians. So
the struggle at the moment is the shortage of Oculuses. There's loads of people going to get their hands on it. One guy I spoke to this week, he's having to drive 2 hours to a mall somewhere that I'd never heard of to go and get one. But it's an incredible opportunity, and you're right, it's an evolution of social, and it is going to change the world. And the quicker people realise that, and the tech becomes more mainstream, this is the other thing. We are so early. Like, we imagine where we'll be in a couple of years. That.
Yeah, totally. Well, one quick ask. If you or part of the team could do some of us a favor and make the Infiniverse links for each club available somewhere, like in the Discord. A lot of us have, we're building out various places, and we have hubs and, areas where we guide people to certain places. And it would be really cool to be able to have a rotunda that has like a door to each of the clubs, for example. So anybody who comes and visits my spaces, I could say, hey, check these out. And then that's their way to get to all the different comedy clubs.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. We'll put it in the official links.
Right on. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Hichar, do you want to speak to us? No, gone AFK.
If he's struggling, I'll have to pop a message in.
Yeah, if you're struggling, just put it in the general chat or DM us, or open a ticket. Anybody else before we go? Because we've already extended this further than we imagined we probably would do, but hopefully the live has gone out fine. And if you can, please, comment or share on the Facebook video after this has gone out. If you get a chance, put your cat on there, share it.
Just one quick thing as well, just so people are aware, the clubs will have all the updated branding and all the posters going in from early next week. We're just playing catch up on getting all the posters from Nifty Comedians and other things that we're getting involved with. So all the clubs will have the branding, all the posters will be going in from early next week.
Cool. I'm just checking to see if anybody else has got their hand up. That's a no. Right, are we happy enough if we wrap up for today, and then we'll schedule some more AMAs for
Sweet, yeah.
Monday and Wednesday next week?
Yep, cool.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
Well,
Thank
good to
you,
see
everybody.
Appreciate you all taking the time to come and listen, and stay in touch, and let's all have a bit of fun.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Cheers.
See you soon.